So an update on the part 1 for water catchment system. Just a flat roof, nothing special. It's good enough to fill that to the brim, which overflows into an identical one as shown in the other video, which then overflows into a third one. That's 600 litres of water. This is the safest one to drink without boiling if you had to, because fresh water from the top has overflowed into there, so this is the clearest. Use that one for plants and dogs. The dogs can cope with it no problem. It's just rainwater. I mean, look at the crap that puddles that our dogs drink out of, and they're fine. And all of these pots, you know, if you needed, every single one of these pots, excuse the dog shit, can be repurposed. You can take these lovely beautiful plants out of these pots and just put carrots in there, or broccoli, or whatever. If you catch any, if you manage to fish anything out of the canal, fish, you know, desperate measures, you don't know, do you? You can put them, bring them back from the canal or the river, hopefully still alive, and stick them in a pond and leave them in there for a week, and they'll take on all they'll be cleansed by the pond, if that makes sense, ready to eat. And then again, all of this can be repurposed. This is an old wardrobe, just fell apart on me. Put some brackets, 2 brackets in each corner, and then a reinforcer. Lined it clearly, and then in the bottom I've planted potatoes. Yeah, there's a few growing, and they're taking the time, but they're growing, they're not a problem. So potatoes in the bottom, when they start to grow and they get level with the top, you just keep filling in more soil, topsoil. And to save space, so you've got potatoes growing at the bottom, and then runner beans are planted to climb up there. So you're basically growing 2 plants out of one homemade planter ex wardrobe. And then we've got carrots, garlic. We plant a lot of garlic in there. We've planted 3 small fruit trees, so we've got pear, plum, cherry. That's next door's tree, but it's a third of it's overhanging. That's an apple tree, Bramley. And we've got raspberries. We've got blueberries back down there. We've got leeks, onions, all these little white flowers. They're all alpine strawberries. And we've got rose hips. I think it's 6 times more vitamin C in a rose hip than there is in an orange. And we've got blackberries. Obviously they're not coming through. You need to try and plant stuff that grows so that you can harvest at different times of the year. And with these apples, and then we get a lot of apples, you can make fruit leather. You stick it somewhere cold when you've finished, when you've done it, and it can last for up to a year, so it can certainly see you through the winter. We've got another, I've put a low profile gutter with a crud catcher. Low profile gutter, and it had to be low profile because when these apples come down, they come down with force. It just smashed the gutter into bits. So we've got another water collection point here. There's another 200 litres there. So we've got 800 litres. I'm collecting pallet wood up and trying to pry them off and separate them to build more planters. So if you see any pallets, grab them. That's another part of the wardrobe I need to make into a planter. Everything that comes out of our kitchen, you know, peelings, eggshells, like you name it, anything that's vegetable or food waste goes in there, and I mean, we've been topping it. We've not used it yet, as in we've not taken anything out. But the amount, we must have put a ton in there, and it's still only 2/3 full. So I mean, it's working. I mean, stuff like dandelions. I mean, people get the old weed killer out. But you can eat the flowers, you can eat the stems. The leaves have more vitamin A in them than any other green. And then you can get the roots out. You can fry them up and eat them, but they're a bit woody. Or you can roast them up until they're black, not burnt but black, and then crush them up, and it tastes just like coffee without the caffeine. So yeah, that's my prep so far. A long way to go. Self-sustainability is quite an achievement, but we've got a little caravan that runs off solar panels, and it's, you know, not connected up to anything. So we've spent the last 6-7 years getting used to being off grid in that sense. It's food and water you need to focus on, and security.